Chris. All right, I'm going to read the final names. Your next comedian coming up is going to be Zell Seifert. Am I saying that right? Yeah. Okay, cool. And John Copel, then Melissa Silverman, Kevin Matuzak, and then Charles Bly's Nike. Everybody on this is a little bit, Melissa, who's ever heard of that? Okay, your next comedian coming up to the stage, please welcome the very funny Zell Seifert. Zell!
What's going on? This is my first time here. A little nervous. This bright ass light's not helping either. Tonight I want to talk about a couple of my friends that I have. My friends ain't shit. But that's cool because I'm too old to make any new ones. Anyway, I have this one friend of mine who he watches way too much porn. Now when you're a guy, you don't really know how much porn is too much porn. Well, the other day I found out exactly how much porn is too much porn. I was talking to him and I said, hey man, I was watching this one porn and this girl, she had a tattoo of blue screws on her ass. And he was like, oh yeah, I know her, that's Kimmy. She lives in Washington with her 2 cats and a dog named Sam. I said, whoa, that's too much information. I had this other friend, he stutters a lot. And the more information that he has, the more that he stutters. So that's how I know how much, how important what he has to tell me of how much he has to study. The other day when the Amber Rose pictures came out, I was at work, and he had called me. I didn't answer. I ignored it. Then he called me again. I ignored it. And he called me at work. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? So I picked up the phone and I'm like, hey, what's up? He's like, I'm like, slow down, just calm down. He's like, I'm like, all right, shut the fuck up. And I just hung up on him. Then he calls me back. I said, just text me. So then he texts me 5 minutes later, and it says, too much to text. I'm about to call you. Answer the phone. I said, we just went through this, you dumbass. I have this other friend of mine. He swears every woman wants him. Every single woman on the face of this earth wants him. So if you make eye contact with this guy, he thinks that you wants to date. The other day we're at the bank. And while we're at the bank, he shows me, he says, yo, that teller over there, she wants me. I was like, well, what happened? He was like, well, I was getting some money out, and she asked me if I want big bills or do I want little bills. And do you know what that means? She wants to know if I got a big one or a little one. So get the fuck out of here. Meanwhile, this guy hasn't had a date in 3 years. I have this other friend who's about as dumb as a brick. I asked him to make my daughter a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on 1 slice of bread. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, he looks at me and he's like, I'm like, okay, you put one piece of bread, one side you put peanut butter, the other side you put jelly. Sounds simple enough, right? Not for this guy. My daughter starts to cry immediately. I'm like, well, what's wrong? What's wrong? He's like, she's not eating. I'm like, well, what's wrong? What's wrong with the sandwich? I don't know. She's not eating. So I go and I look at the sandwich. And on the top side of the sandwich, he puts peanut butter. He then flips it over and puts the jelly. I said, don't nobody want to eat that shit. Who the fuck is going to eat that shit? But that's still not the dumbest thing that he has ever done. We were driving. And we were in Jersey. We were high and we were lost. So I told him to call our supervisor. And he calls the supervisor, and the supervisor was like, where are you guys at? Everybody start looking out the window, and we're all like, tell them we're on Main Street, tell them we're on Main Street. Meanwhile, this guy shushes me, and he says, we're at speed limit 45. Okay. That's my time. Thank you.